Now, it's been a good year
Yep.
for Premier, according to the results you've just announced, with record profits.
Yep.
But also production has been down slightly. So
Yep.
how do you account for this?
In a way, it's a very simple one. Last year, the year before, we had a field on stream called Shelley. It was abandoned last year, and so there was a natural drop in production. But what is perhaps more important is, we set out a target of delivering 75,000 barrels a day next year, and then going on to 100,000 barrels a day, 2014, 2015 and beyond. And all of the projects, the things that keep us awake at night because we're working hard on them, they are progressing really, really well, and that's why we're so confident about, we've had a good year because those major projects are coming on. We've got 2 of them coming on this year that we operate in Asia, and that will carry on the business growing beyond that 100,000 barrels a day as we take the UK as well. We've had some fantastic exploration success in the UK this year. We've got new deals come through that are going to add to it. So it's a very, very busy, active programme that is going to carry on that growth over the next few years.
In light of these projects you're anticipating, how concerned are you about volatility on the oil market and the price of oil?
It's just a fundamental risk of the business, and the quality of the projects that we have are always robust down to very low oil prices. So it isn't a major issue. It is just something that, as an oil business, we work with and live with on a regular basis.
And your increased profits for this year are related at all to the spike in oil?
The profits are up slightly because of are obviously positively impacted by the higher oil prices, and the cash flows underlying the business are significantly up as a result of higher oil prices as well. But the real growth trend that we're going to see is the addition of the future production coming through over the next few years, and that will more than double the underlying operating cash flows of the business as a result of that new production being higher margin as production as well coming through.
And what levels are you forecasting then for next year? Are you
75 for next year, and then on to 100,000 barrels a day from new developments that are going to come through 2014, 2015.
And are you expecting volatility to continue? You say you just come
in terms of the oil price?
Yeah.
Inevitably, yeah.
But does this make your business any more difficult?
No, I don't think it's a particularly difficult issue to handle when you've got, like I say, very good quality, low cost developments that work under pretty much any reasonable environment for the oil price in the future.
In fact, you're saying that you're going to start a programme or continue a programme of exploration.
Yeah.
Do these high prices actually make this exploration easier? Does it make you more optimistic that you can start breaking out some more?
I think what we try and do is we try and focus on 2 major things within the business to make it work. One is the quality of the rocks that we drill, and then the quality of how we manage the business thereafter, and so the people that we put in place. And those things are effectively oil price independent. And if we do the right quality thing with those 2 pieces, the business will be successful. And so on the exploration side, we are driven by trying to make sure we've got the right rock opportunities, as it were, within the business to be able to make that happen. What we're doing to be able to make that is focus on 2 areas. One is rift basins, which are things that we've been really successful in the past at, and fold belts, which is another geological play that we've been successful with in the past. And we're trying to develop that further. Most recently, we've been stepping into deeper water, which is where a lot of the oil industry works today to find the biggest stuff. And we've been doing that in Egypt. We've got a well going down in Egypt right now. Didn't suffer any problems during the recent turmoil that happened in Egypt. Carrying on drilling that well, and hopefully, we can carry on that kind of process into deeper water, chasing the same kind of plays, irrespective of the oil price, and keep the business growing.
Now, you've just come from
Yeah.
Cairo. Does this, the events in the Middle East, change your strategy at all for the Middle East?
I think you've always got to take, a sense check around what's going on. But we realised when we stepped into Egypt, for instance, a couple of years ago, that there would be some sort of regime change there, and so we've taken a very kind of like steady toe in the water kind of step into it to try and understand what is really going on with the business, and then step into getting into bigger expansion over time as we properly understand and can risk mitigate what's going on. So it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed our view. We weren't in Libya in the first place. So from that perspective, no, I think there will be some good opportunities open up for us as a result of the changes that have been going on.
But considering your presence in the North Sea,
yep.
Are you more comfortable being there, considering the global situation? I mean, the price of oil will make drilling in that area more easy and make more sense.
I think we are comfortable with the fact that we have what I would describe as a balanced portfolio across the three businesses, and that gives us a lot of strength because whether it's tax changes in one country one day or whether it's regime change in another, or it gives us the capability, because we've got these good quality underlying projects, it gives us the capability to weather through difficult storms. Right now is not a difficult storm. Oil prices are very high. We are seeing a fantastic lot of growth in the business.
But where does the North Sea sit, particularly in your business plan? I mean, has the UK Chancellor's tax decision changed your investment plan?
I think we're a little bit unique within Premier because we've carried forward about just over $1.1 billion of corporation tax allowances into 2011. So the changes that have been made in terms of the UK tax situation have a very, very minimal effect. We're effectively mitigated because of those tax allowances. In terms of appetite, it hasn't changed our appetite at all because, as I said, we've got such good quality projects to bring through that we're going to carry on investing in those, and if we can find other things to do, then we'll be out there doing it. And I guess in a slightly flippant and positive sense, things where you are paying tax in the UK in the North Sea today, they're a little bit cheaper than they were yesterday. So it makes the acquisition opportunities a little bit more attractive. So on balance, it hasn't changed our appetite. We want to carry on growing.
So in light of these acquisition opportunities, are there any particular in the North Sea that you're interested in, bearing in mind that the likes of Exxon, BP, Conoco are going to be selling off their mature assets?
We're always looking. There isn't a specific one that I would say right now we want to do that one. There are lots of things across all of the portfolio that we'd like to try and do, but I think most importantly is trying to find things that where we can really add value, and where I go back to the business of that rocks piece and the quality of the people, where we can actually generate more value out of it than you could have done otherwise. And the key to that really is, does it really fit with our existing base business or not? So we're looking around the existing base business and we'll carry on looking, but nothing that I would say specifically we're going to go and do that right now.
And have you noticed an increased interest in the North Sea from larger companies? I mean, we've talked about these majors selling off their assets, but what about coming in from Asia? You saw them not taking over Dana acquisition last year.
We haven't seen I wouldn't say there's been a flood of people coming across. I think there's always competition in what you're doing, and competition changes. But I wouldn't describe it as there's lots of people arriving to try and buy things or buy new parts of the business. And I think because of the positions that we have in Asia and in the North Sea as well, we have strength in depth in those particular areas. That means that we can be very competitive in projects relative to other people.
Your strength and depth, does that make you an acquisition target yourself?
Well, not at the moment,
So
clearly.
Would you like to be though? I mean, are you stronger independent?
I don't think about it as whether I'd like to be or I don't like to be. You know, we get up out of bed in the morning and try and work out how we're going to grow the business, and you know, and if somebody comes along and starts to put a big number on the table, then of course you have the conversation. But you know, our raison d'etre is to get up and make these businesses work really well. Keep building the 3 quality business.